To our last win total breakdown video of today. We were talking about the Arizona Wildcats. Win total 7.5, and I must say this is a really good number for the Wildcats. I'm right around 7-8 every time I run this through, but this is a really different team. I think a lot of people are going to like this team because of the success they had last year. This is a whole new coaching staff. There's a lot of parts of this roster are new. So I think we need to keep that in mind as we go through the schedule. They're also in a whole new conference. They're versing a whole new team. So I think this is going to be a hard team to predict in Arizona as we look through the schedule here. They start week 1 home for New Mexico is obviously a win. Week 2 they're home for Northern Arizona, obviously a win. This team starts out 2-0. Then this is where things get a little tough. I believe they play week 3. They're on the road against Kansas State. If I'm not mistaken, this is not a conference game. They're on the road against Kansas State, even though they're both in the Big 12. This is not a conference game. This was a contract did before Arizona joined the Big 12 to be a non-con game. So this is a non-con game, but I have it as a loss at Kansas State. I think Arizona loses that game. Week 4 bye, week 5, coming out of the bye, on the road against Utah. I mean, that's probably the best spot you want to get Utah after a bye. It sucks it's not home. I have it as a loss, though. This team's realistically 2-2 to start the year. Week 6 home for Texas Tech. I have as a win. I think that's pretty coin flippy of a game. I think Texas Tech is a big question mark coming into the year. I just like Arizona a tiny bit better at the moment. And plus, they're home. By the way, this is the only schedule I have picked every home game. I don't know how that happened because realistically it's not going to happen, right? I just think a lot of these games for Arizona are coin flippies back and forth. So I think, yes, I think this is what's going to happen most likely, but I think either you could trade a game here or there, and I think the same number of wins is what's most likely going to happen. Just maybe not the outcomes of the games are going to be the same, right? Week 7, they're on the road against BYU. I have as a loss, actually. I just think BYU is going to snip someone. I think Arizona's going to have a disappointing loss at some point in the season. That's just the way the team's built. I think it's going to be that one I have as a loss. Arizona home against Colorado I have as a win. Arizona home against West Virginia I have as a win. Now I gave them BYU a loss, but maybe I think they win 2 of those games. One against BYU, Colorado, or West Virginia. I think they win 2 out of the 3 there. Week 10 on the road against UCF. I think going to UCF is very tough to do, especially this late in the season. UCF's got a much improved quarterback, I think, in KJ Jefferson, a much improved running back class. It's a tough road trip for Arizona. It's a lot of different time zones for them, taking UCF on the road there. Bye week 11. Week 12, home for Houston should be and better be a win for Arizona. Week 13 on the road against TCU. TCU is a big question mark team in this conference. I'm taking TCU at home. And week 14, they are home for Arizona State. I have 7 wins. That is 7 wins for the Arizona Wildcats. And you can give them the BYU game, give 8. Like, that's the game that I've been coin flippy. But I think if you give them that game, I think Colorado, West Virginia beats them at home, right? I think that's just the yin and the yang with what's going to happen. So ultimately, I have 7-5. The win total is 7.5 for the Arizona Wildcats. I am under, but slightly. Like, if I had to put my actual number to it, my number is probably like 7.35, like something like that. Very close to the under. Pretty much a coin flip game. That means probably like one coin flip game will decide this either way. It's going to be that 3-game stretch of at BYU, home for Colorado, home for West Virginia. That is what's going to decide this one total for the Arizona Wildcats. I think it can be. There's a chance this could be a very successful first season under new head coaching, first season in the Big 12. 7-5 is nothing. Just scratch your head out for a team in Arizona who a couple years ago was winning 3 games in a season if they were lucky. So ultimately, I have them going 7-5, and a lot of these games are so coin flippy. I think a lot of the Big 12 is. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams going 7-5, and realistically, it could be 7 teams in this division that go 7-5. That's how closely tight these teams are in the Big 12. So I think it's almost impossible to predict exactly what someone's record or which games exactly they're going to win. I think 7 is the most likely number. Not betting it. Am taking the under. If you want more Big 12 win total videos, go to the channel, go to the playlist. They're all right there in the playlist. Hit subscribe, please, while you're at it, if you do choose to do that. Also, I have a playlist for all my win total breakdowns. That includes the ACC, and if you're watching this later, it will include the Big Ten, include the SEC. I'm Josh Wissey, man. We're grinding. We're almost there. Almost halfway done with win totals. I'm Josh Wissey. Thank you.